When men cheat in a relationship, clearly it's their fault. When women cheat in a relationship, however, it is also the man's fault. At least that's what many modern Western women would want you to believe. But we all know that that is far from the truth. Today, Dr. Orion Taraban, who puts out some absolute bangers, discusses his perspective on why men cheat and why women cheat. Let's see what he has to say.
The first really significant difference between male cheating and female cheating is their respective correlations to relationship satisfaction. According to the research I've read, there is no statistically significant difference in reported relationship satisfaction between men who cheat and men who don't. This means that the philanderers were just as happy or unhappy with their primary relationships as the men who stayed loyal. On the other hand, there is a substantial and statistically significant difference in reported relationship satisfaction between women who cheat and women who don't. That is, the women who cheat report significantly higher rates of relationship dissatisfaction in their primary relationships. To put it another way, women who are satisfied with their relationships are much less likely to be disloyal, though they still can be.
If you know anything about dating or relationships, this really isn't surprising. Women, at least the majority, are hypergamous by nature. That means that they're always looking for more out of their relationships and out of their men. More money, more status, more things, their man to be physically more attractive. And when their man isn't able to accomplish that or simply chooses not to accomplish it, they start looking elsewhere, which includes cheating. Men, on the other hand, at least those that do cheat, they are looking for one thing only, and that's sex, plain and simple. They are looking for more access to it and more availability to it. So when they're cheating, they don't really care typically about the rest of the relationship. So the rest of their relationship could be good, but if they have the ability to get more sex, they're going to take advantage of it. And I'll go into that a little bit more after Dr. Taraban says some additional things.
Itself is interesting, but it also suggests that men and women tend to have different motivations when they cheat. Most notably, men don't seem to cheat in order to replace their partners or to get needs or desires met outside of their primary relationship. If they did, we would likely see differences in relationship satisfaction between cheaters and non cheaters, right? On the whole, I think most of the men who cheat do so because they A, have the opportunity to do so, and B, believe they can get away with it. In fact, they tend to see the infidelity as a sexual outlet that has nothing to do with their primary relationship. I have talked to many, many men who have told me, Orion, I love my wife. I would never leave her. She means the world to me. And I fuck other women. To these men, these two statements, I love my wife and I fuck other women, have nothing to do with one another. He does not consider them contradictory.
There are two types of men who have the ability to cheat. The first are high value men. High value men have money, they have looks, they have status, so forth and so on. These men have no problem cheating. Even if they are in a completely happy marriage where they're getting virtually all of their needs met, they have women throwing themselves at them. Think, Elon Musk, think your football or your sports stars. These women probably know that this man is in a relationship with somebody, a committed relationship, and yet they are perfectly fine to figuratively and literally drop their panties for these guys at the drop of a hat. And for these men, they don't have to work at all to cheat. They literally just have to be available. And if they're willing to do that, these women will gladly do what they need to do. The second type of man who this applies to are the players. These players, they don't care about the relationship one way or the other. If the relationship is good, great. If the relationship is bad, also great, because they have no intention of staying with these women long term. Their conquest is sleeping with that woman. And as long as he has access to sex with that woman, he'll gladly continue to have a relationship with her. That's all that matters. And the second portion that he says, which is that these men cheat because they won't get caught. No, they don't care if they get caught. The high value man, he is going to always have access to women. If he somehow gets caught and loses his current relationship, great. He can jump on over to the next one because there's a line of women a mile long waiting for him. As for the player doesn't care. The player, by his very nature, wants to go from woman to woman to woman. If the woman he's with finds out and cuts off access to sex, great. He'll just use his skills to seduce the next woman and sleep with her, and that process continues.
He does not consider them contradictory. It's like they live in two different parts of his being. We can call this compartmentalization. And I think it's a big part of why men and women cheat for different reasons. For better or worse, men seem to be better at compartmentalization than women are. For instance, what is the biggest female complaint about men in relationships? He's emotionally unavailable, right? This is shorthand for I couldn't access certain parts of his emotionality. She's not saying the man's emotions are non existent. She's saying she couldn't get to them, which suggests that they have been compartmentalized into other dynamics or relationships. And it's this compartmentalization that is directly responsible for the belief that he can love one woman and fuck another.
I don't support cheating under any circumstances. Full stop. However, does it really surprise anyone why men would compartmentalize, as Dr. Taraban puts, their emotions? Women do an incredible job, at least many women do, with taking a man's emotional vulnerabilities and using them to gain an advantage over them. If a man was to cry in front of his wife because a loved one died, or maybe an animal died, I guarantee you most women would use that to somehow emotionally abuse him in the future when the opportunity presented itself. If he shows any sort of emotional weakness, that is a tool that women will use to hurt him somehow in the future. And there are endless examples of that. Men may be more physically abusive. I still argue that, but let's, for the sake of what popular culture says, let's just say that men are more physically abusive. There's no question that women are more emotionally abusive. And men have recognized that, and so they're not going to show their emotional vulnerability to women. They are going to take advantage of that, I don't know, biological situation where they can compartmentalize, and they're going to do that. And they're going to do it in their relationships.
On the other hand, the significantly higher rates of reported relationship dissatisfaction in women who cheat suggests that they cheat in order to satisfy needs and desires that go unmet in the primary relationship. And we see this borne out in the cultural double standard around marital infidelity. Namely, men cheat because they are heartless cads. Women cheat because their men weren't treating them right.
This is the most important thing he says in the entire video: the double standard in men's behavior and women's behavior. When men do something, it's bad. When women do something, it's empowering. When men cheat, well, it's because they are being cruel to their wives or their girlfriends and they just want to get their jollies off. When women cheat, well, it's empowering. Here's the thing: cheating is bad, period. If a man is cheating because he's not getting sex in his relationship or he's being emotionally abused, he needs to get out of there. He doesn't get a blank check just because of whatever situation. Similarly, a woman needs to get out of there too. A woman does not get a blank check to cheat in a relationship just because she's unhappy. Period. I would argue that the reason many women are okay with cheating in a relationship is because they want the best of both worlds. She shouldn't have the ability to have the best of both worlds. But that's not what she believes, and that's often not what society believes. It's really disgusting. If you're interested in watching the rest of the video, I'll put a link to it in the description below. For men, the solution is very simple. Be exceptionally careful who you get into a relationship with, especially when it comes to Western women. If you like the content that I've posted here today, please subscribe to the channel. I try to put out videos twice a week, and that'll let you know when I drop the next one. Please like and share these videos with others. It's going to be word of mouth that hopefully helps this channel to grow and be successful. Please check out the other content on my channel, and I will see you all in the future. Take care.